So the same thing kind of always happens when a new phone is announced. The media gets the device ahead of time, maybe a couple days, a couple weeks if we're lucky, and we get to use it while we're preparing our review. Then the date and time of the press embargo arrives, the embargo lifts, everybody posts their review at once, and it is a giant, big frenzy of activity. There's commenters going nuts and defenders and attackers, and it's just a huge explosion for about a day. And then everything disappears. And sure, there's follow-up coverage and stuff as people find bugs, people have other stuff to say about the devices, they wear them in over the course of a day or so, but really, nobody ever goes back and revisits these devices after that initial blast of review to see how they feel after a couple weeks.
So let's do something about it. Let's have a look at a device when it's a couple of weeks after release and not shiny and new anymore. I'm Jaime Rivera with Pocketnow.com. This is the iPhone 4S. And this is episode 2 of After the Buzz. So as Michael mentioned in episode 1, we do our best to thoroughly review a device in 1 or 2 weeks, but obviously you're going to be stuck with it for 2 years with your contract, so it's always great to revisit them and see if they're really worth the investment. Now, I carry 2 devices as my daily drivers, but the iPhone 4S has been my top one for the past 4 months, and there are a lot of really good things you should know about it. First off, let's go through hardware. The iPhone 4S is not the best-selling smartphone in the world just because. Apple really pushed hardware to the limit here. The device is beautiful, slim, and feels great in the hand even if the screen size is kinda dated. Now that said, Corning Gorilla Glass means strong, but it doesn't mean indestructible. I've treated my iPhone 4S well, always using a sleeve and never setting it bare on the table or in my pocket, but still, there are minor scratches in the back anyways. It has fallen only once, and you'll notice how the plastic edges bend depending on the surface it falls on, and the stainless steel does feel it too. Now, a friend of mine also had his device fall once, and look at what happened to the back I replaced for him. My advice to you is get a case and don't push your luck. Stay away from Apple's iPhone bumpers though. They look good the first week, but the materials won't last. The fact that there's only one iPhone is actually good in that department since there are a ton of cases you can choose from for just one device. The same thing goes for accessories depending on your taste. When it comes to color, I do regret buying the white model. It deters fingerprints better than the black one, but dents are pretty much invisible in the black model. Also, choose your case wisely if you go white. I recommend neoprene since any fabric cases may leave lint in the glass border and there is no way to clean that up. The home button also suffers from dirt and lint in the edges. Reselling a white iPhone can be challenging when compared to the black model. Now, replacing the back cover is dirt simple, and buying back cover replacements can cost you as low as $10 on eBay. Replacing the front screen is a nightmare though, so beware of that. Those eBay parts are good in most cases, but don't look for genuine parts. Anybody claiming on eBay that the parts are genuine is probably lying to you. If you're out for genuine parts, one of the cool things about Apple products is their Genius Bar. They don't only answer questions, and they don't do repairs actually. If something's wrong with your phone within the warranty period, they'll give you a brand new device for free. So, in my case, my iPhone 4 had problems with the home button after 10 months. That could happen to this one too, and I just took it to the Apple store and they swapped it within the warranty period. But let's say you smash your device, or for some reason you're out of warranty and you have a problem with it. Well, for a fee, they'll actually swap your phone. It's $120 for the 16GB model, $160 for the 32 gig, and then $200 for the 64 gig. Now, $200 is a bit steep, so that's when Apple Care Plus comes in. This is a 64GB model. I'm not going to pay $200 for a swap. That's a lot of money. So you can pay for Apple Care Plus, which is $100. You extend your warranty for 2 years, which will pretty much cover your contract. And then if you smash your phone or any accidental problems happen to it, you pay $50 per incident, you get 2 incidents, and you get a brand new phone right there. Kind of makes sense. When it comes to my overall user experience, I'll say I'm very satisfied. My old iPhone 4 suffered from antenna gate issues after its first fall, but this one hasn't at all. The screen, even though small for today's standards, is still one of the best screens in the market. That said, the screen size is very helpful for one-handed operation, and applications truly are optimized to make each pixel count. Still, watching a video in this thing feels crammed, and Safari on iOS is one of the best browsers in the market, but I'm not a fan of so much panning and zooming. As a phone, it performs as it should. Great for phone calls, decent battery life after iOS 5.1, and data speeds on HSPA Plus are great. Now the high point on this device is the camera. It's just hard to beat the combination of great optics with good software to back it up. Like in any smartphone, low-light photos are tough to get right, but it's hard to beat photos on this device with the right lighting. 1080p video is superb. It definitely won't beat a DSLR or a professional camcorder, but it shoots far better video than most consumer camcorders, and that even includes the 1080p Canon Vixia that I used to have. Photos and video do take up a lot of storage though, so the ability to choose your storage configuration is great. High graphic games take up to 2 GB of storage, so I decided to go for the 64 gig model, where I can have all my music library, games and photos, but that'll all depend on your needs. When it comes to software, iOS isn't for everyone. Power users like you and me will easily be bored with the snap grid of icons just moving from side to side, but sadly for you and I, we make a very small percentage of the market. Everybody else out there is going for simple and reliable, and that's where iOS delivers. I'll sound like Tron right now, but the grid is still appealing for people that come from feature phones, kids, and even senior citizens. I spend my time in applications more than choosing them, so my boredom is compensated by that. Others solve this through a jailbreak, and even there, iPhones shine because it's pretty much impossible to break an iPhone once you go wrong with a jailbreak. Just put it in DFU and you're set. Now, focusing on the pure iOS experience, there are cases where built-in applications like email are far superior to competitors, even though the OS is 5 years old. Safari, for example, may not be the best browser, but the reader feature alone makes the tiny screen worth the sacrifice. The software keyboard is another feature that shines for me. I've become faster in typing on this thing than even on the old Blackberries that I used in the past. Text prediction is awesome, and as funny as it may sound, I've come to the point where I'm not even looking at the screen as I type, since the phone will probably correct my mistakes 80% of the time as long as you remember where the A is and where the L is, for example. When it comes to Siri, each user relies on it differently. I only use it to remind me of things or probably set appointments. Anything that'll save me the need of entering it myself will probably be my only reason to use it. I love it that you can actually lift your phone to your ear and the iPhone will launch Siri by itself, but sadly, it's still a gimmick for many people. And then there's third-party applications where no platform has come close to beating iOS. And even though developers complain about Apple's painful requirements to get applications pushed, I won't complain. As an end user, I do enjoy Apple's control freak mentality if it means that applications will look good and work well. Another advantage I enjoy about iOS is that software updates don't depend on your carrier, country, or even your device in some cases. You can be certain that your device will be eligible to newer versions of iOS well through your 2-year contract, and that will actually help for the resale value too. So, bottom line, would I still recommend that you buy an iPhone 4S even though it was released more than 6 months ago? The answer is absolutely. Again, this is not the best-selling smartphone just because. It's a great performer with great software and looks that appeal to most average users and even power users like you and me. Just make sure you get a case for the device to last those 2 years though. And in some cases, if you want to compare it with the iPhone 4 and even the iPhone 3GS, my advice to you is 8 GB are not enough for an iPhone. Definitely that's the reason why I tell you don't go for the iPhone 4, stick to the iPhone 4S. And the next generation iPhone will probably not be released until 6 months from now, so it's probably a good time to take the plunge if you haven't. This has been Jaime with Pocketnow.com. Thanks for joining me in episode 2 of After the Buzz. Be sure to share your experiences with the iPhone 4S or any concerns that you probably have before buying in the link down below in the comments section of our post and the website. And well, again, thanks for watching.